What's up, guys? What's going on? I wanted to do a quick video today and just catch up, let you guys know what's going on. Got my wife here, my partner. Uh, just want to talk about some things, how the business has been, what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, and this is the first time we're going live. So if people if they want to ask questions, they can. And all right. So how are you today, honey?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Glad to be doing this video.
Yeah, finally. People been wanting to see, you know, follow up from the first one, but we're gonna do this completely different. Um, I'm gonna try to get some questions here too in a minute. Trying to pull it up.
Yeah, I don't even remember our first video. I was telling him, like, I don't remember too much of what I said or what was covered, so.
What's up, everybody? Okay, so here's the chat so you can see what's going on.
Oh, okay, okay.
All right. So yeah, appreciate everybody on the first live. All right. So a couple things I wanted to start out because I don't even remember the last video either, but it's short. I'm sure when I looked at it, there was a lot of things I wanted to cover that I didn't cover. So first question is that I had from the last video is how's it working together, um, running a business, being husband and wife. Is it hard? Is it difficult? What do you think?
Um, I don't think it's difficult. Of course, we have our days where I don't know. It's like, it's not difficult, but we have our days where we don't necessarily argue. I don't know what you would call it, but like, I guess we kind of aggravated with work with the customers, so we kind of.
That was my next question. Like the customers, dealing with the customers, because people don't really hear that aspect of just the customer service side of it, and what it takes to actually do it. And she has to do it every day. And what frustrates you the most dealing with customers?
Just, I guess when they don't have any patience, they act like, you know, we broke the appliance or something. They want you to come out there like right now, and it can be 3:45 in the afternoon, and they calling in, and it's like tomorrow morning, first thing is not good enough for you. Like, are you serious? Like, I can understand if it's a fridge though. I do get the urgency in that, but even still, you didn't break it. You know what I mean? Like, they act like, I hate when they act like we not busy. Like we just sitting here waiting for that call. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
You like, all right. Keep thinking that if you want to. This don't have to be tomorrow.
So yeah, it's just it's always difficult dealing with customers, especially too with warranty customers. It's a little different. I feel like COD customers are a lot easier. They
Mhm.
get scheduled. Um, finding I don't feel like it's difficult with my COD customers at all. It's more less with warranty, especially a lot of times the part is unavailable. They gotta wait for the part. Um, a lot of times it's just I don't find it when my COD customers I have to wait for parts that much. I just don't get those type of jobs. Maybe it's just what I see. Um,
Mhm. Yeah. This light is like glared at us.
so yeah, let's see what you're talking
So we just going down the list, boo. So,
about.
how
We
our
doing
day
this
be?
live, guys, so nothing's like we didn't really plan it. We were just like, let's just do the video and see how it goes. Um, DC put the warranty service. It's taking so long on the phone, delayed parts. The public has been pressure. It's been pressure lately. I'm like, yeah, it has. I haven't had couple parts here and there. It has been taking longer than usual, um, and I just get the constant, hey, what's the part update? What's the part update? And I'll give her the update like, if it's coming in or it's not coming in, and she has to relay that to the customer, and they just have to wait. You know, I mean, that's just what it is right now. People have to understand what's going on, and you know, people are not working in the factories as much, and parts are delayed, and that just is what it is.
Yeah, we have one guy that's been waiting for like a month now, I think, for a part.
Yeah, for a timer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that too, you know. And again, they act like it's our fault.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you hate the most? I feel like you hate driving the most. Like you don't mind the appliance work maybe or dealing with the customers. I don't know. You answer the question, but I definitely
It's
love
not that I
driving.
hate driving. It's just that I drive so much during the day. When I get home, I don't want to drive anymore. So that's pretty much it.
No, I mean, what frustrates you about like your day when you get home? If you're like a little frustrated, like what would you say is the cause of that?
Um, it's a mix of customers and probably sometimes frustration of a job. So
Mhm.
if my day runs smooth and I have easy jobs to do, fine. But if I have that one job that frustrates me, or and if a customer frustrates me on top of that, and maybe on top of the driving, like all that adds up
Yeah.
toward the end of the day.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if I have a fairly good day, the frustration of driving doesn't bother me as much if I had all that stuff stacked up on me.
Mhm.
It's like a domino effect. You have that,
Yeah.
this irritating, and then so, but DC asked, when are you guys going to bring on another tech?
I don't know. Maybe never. I don't know. You know, ideally maybe next year when this COVID thing dies down, I guess. You know.
I don't know.
So
We'll
I
see
guess
how it
that's a
goes.
good question. The time will tell.
I think we're content with how things are running right now, and the money that we are making. But as in for any business, if you want to grow, you have to hire. That's just how it goes, you know.
Yeah.
It's just something that takes more responsibility as far as the business owner side. I mean, we already have enough on our plate with
Mhm.
just dealing with all the companies we deal with, the customers, um, us trying to have spare time to do stuff too, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, but I think hiring somebody that's seasoned, in appliance repair would definitely be ideal. Or somebody that's willing to work under your wing for
right.
a couple weeks to a month or something, just so I don't have the stress of all the recalls. I don't want to hire to fire because I'm gonna be quick to be like, listen, the recall rate is through the roof, so buddy. You know what I mean? And I understand, like, if you have a recall and you just have to go back, once or something and tighten something up or something simple. But if you all together going back and it's still not fixed and it's just more pressure on him, it's more frustration on him
Oh
or something,
gosh.
and it all comes back this way. So it's like, that's what I think about. It's just like really finding somebody that's confident in what they're doing. You know what I mean? That has sense enough to call Mike if they stuck on something instead of just messing something up.
Right. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Um,
So.
off of that, what you were saying, I feel like with the recalls, now, a lot of people ask me, like, so usually, what do you, from your point of view, when you have a customer call in, what's your kind of procedure on setting them back up? Like because a lot of times, sometimes you don't get with me. Sometimes you do. It all depends on the customer. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
set them right back up.
Right. Right. I guess it just depends on the urgency of their issue. If it's a leak or a fridge not cooling, then I try to get you back out there the next day. But if it's a dishwasher or something, ice maker, I guess. It just depends on how busy we are. I always try to make it seem like we're busier than we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even if I can fit them in tomorrow.
That's a pro tip right there. Always seem busier than you are, because customers will take advantage of that and try to like get a what is it, like a narrowed schedule.
Mhm.
Like I probably should have wrote down the annoying things customers do, like throughout the day because it's just like, let's just say they set up and they call. I'm just trying to get an update on the time frame he'll be here. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you set them up from, and our times are usually how do you do the times a lot?
Like 8 to 11. Like, usually I try to give at least like a 3 hour window. For some people, I give a 2 hour window. Some people I give a 4 hour window. But I usually try to give them that 3 hours. I feel like 3 hours is something I can definitely narrow down, their window for that time frame. So,
Yeah, and most of the time they'll call and say, okay, it'll be, let's say they have 8 to 11, it'll be 8 o'clock, or they'll try to call, hey, what time are they coming? I'm like, the window didn't even start yet. It's just like they
yeah.
always try to narrow down what the time frame is, and I always try to tell, it's not like you can call Comcast or AT&T and say, hey, can you narrow down the time you're coming? Now that
Hmm.
technology is different, they might tell you, oh, they're 20 minutes away, something like that. But we're not moving like that. So
Yeah.
once you have and you always tell them what, 20 to 30 minute call ahead of time.
Yeah, yeah. Usually I tell them it'll be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes because you never know how close the job before them will be.
Right.
Because I try to, make your schedule where everything just kind of flows.
And that's another thing I put on there is route management. Because, shame on me. I can't remember off the top of my head what days I go to where. But you have it set. You set my schedule up for certain days throughout the week. I'm doing certain areas.
It's just like 3 days up north, 2 days down south, or vice versa if we got more calls down south. So, like,
So pretty much we're like kind of middle of the county, and we go north and south. So instead of me going zipping back and forth with some days I do, um, she tries to make it where one day I'll go this way, next day I'll go that way. So that's a part of route management, and
yeah. So you're not going everywhere every day.
right,
Like,
right.
it don't make no sense. But, yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question because I didn't realize when, but I should have known. How long did it take you to start to realize um, what areas you needed to schedule? Like, because you have to really memorize what area is where, north, south, east, or west. I mean,
So what's your question?
how long did it take you to get the hang of it from when you first started doing my schedule, pretty much? Just so a person has an idea when they're hiring somebody, how long it takes they're supposed to get the route management aspect.
Well, if you got a map in front of you, you should know by the end of the day. I don't know what you mean. Like,
Well, you don't need the map. So that's what I'm trying to say. You kind of
yeah,
just know off
all
the top of your
right.
head.
Okay, but there are
That
some
didn't take
times
you a day.
where I have to figure it out by zip codes or something. Because, West
See?
Palm Beach got several zip codes. So, again, I still go on Google Maps and put in the zip code so I can try to get your schedule in an order to where you're not going, you know, in a weird route. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff is important because you're just trying to be efficient. You're not trying to
Right.
be, you know, wasting gas pretty much. Because we
Hmm.
tend to do, what, 6 to 8 calls a day?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Right. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but that's like the average.
For sure.
And I try to not work every Saturdays, or at least minimize that, but usually like 2 to 3 Saturdays out the month. Sometimes every Saturday, but usually just
But only a half a day. We try to take a break here and there because people will have you working every day, all day, making it seem like,
right.
every little issue is an emergency. So, but I wanted to get back, touch back on
Okay.
what you were saying about the customers, calling in the morning wanting to have a better idea what time you were coming.
Yeah.
To eliminate that, I started sending people a text the day before their appointment. Just, saying it's a confirmation, of your appointment tomorrow for your washer, whatever appliance they have, between this time and this time. And from there, you know, if they do have a question, they just start to text me back like the next day instead of them calling. If they really want to know, hey, can you give me a better idea what time he's coming, they'll text me. So, and I feel like it's easier to get a lot of text than a lot of calls because, you know, you can't click over and catch everybody or whatever. So,
Right. I feel like my business, like she has changed and implemented a lot of things where it's kind of shifting more people going online and schedule because you guys heard me talk about my online scheduling before, but so now people are doing that more, and like let's just they call and they leave a message or they hear the message, they're kind of prompted to go on the website and either inquire information from there if there's parts or whatever, or set up their appointment. So I really feel like we've gotten away from the phones considerable amount or a little bit. What do you say, like 20%, 50%?
like 70%. Everybody is able and capable to go to a website and, you know, do what they need to do. So,
Right,
and I feel like a lot of people prefer it that way.
right. So I think too, it's definitely growth is very important. Like we just always been growing. Like she took a lot of time to rebuild my website to what it is now. Because I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know half the things. I didn't even know it was capable of doing what it's doing. And I'm supposed to be the
Yeah.
techie one, right? So it just
But yeah. And so even when they parts come in, like for customers, you know, that need a part or whatever, basically I just text them when they part is in and say, you know, we can schedule you for tomorrow or whatever day between this time and this time, and you know they'll text me back to confirm that it works or say, hey, can we do this day instead? So still everything after they receive that confirmation text the day before their appointment, everything is just pretty much texting, or sometimes they'll go to our website. Maybe if they do call, they'll, you know, hear the voicemail and get referred to our website, or just instinctively know, well, hey, let me just text her. So
right, right.
it's their preference. They can either go to the website or text me.
I'm gonna tell you this much. Since all of that's been going on, I have definitely people cannot get in contact with me, and I kind of like it like that. I mean, at the end of the day, I try to. Yes, I'm the owner, but I try to be more like a technician, and you know, that's my CSM, my customer service manager, and I. If you need to reschedule, okay, I don't do the scheduling, so you need to either. Usually now, since I don't tell them to call, I kind of just tell them go to my website. But sometimes older people, I might tell them to call, whatever, and then I'll prompt her, let her know, or they'll call, leave a message, and she'll check the voicemail, or she'll pick up the phone, whatever the case may be. She'll get a hold, return their phone call, get a hold of them. So it's pretty much kind of it wasn't like this in the beginning. It definitely we have to make changes a lot. We kind of just whenever we run into a problem, okay, we'll just handle it differently the next time. Or like for instance, I did put like our daily process. So I get up in the morning and I see my schedule because she does my schedule. I get my schedule every night, and I check to see where I have to go, and that's why I said the importance of you learning my route, because she used to have jobs in certain areas, but now she has it so precise by the zip code, so it's like I'm usually doing the same jobs in the same area, and they're usually like 10, 15 minutes away from each other. So how she has the route is how I run it. Be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. I run it just like that. So let's just say I call a customer and I don't get them, because we try to give customers benefit of the doubt, but if I'm calling on the way there and I don't get you, and it's out of the way, I'm not coming. 9 times out of 10, I'm usually not coming, especially if it's a gated community. So the first thing I do is I'll hit her and say, hey, customer not picking up the phone. I left a voicemail, and from there, she kind of handles it. Like, so what do you do from there?
Then I just call them or text them. Because, well, you know, you driving, so you can't text. So I know usually I can just text them because I've texted them the night before. It's very few times that customers don't put their cell phone down on the schedule. It grinds my gears. I'm like, oh my gosh, who doesn't have a cell phone? Who is, using a home landline phone? Like, what? But here and there, you run into people like that, and that's their primary number. I'm
Right.
like, you don't have a cell phone? I can't text you a confirmation? Like, so, but for most people, 9 times out of 10, I can just text them real quick and say, hey, the technician trying to get a hold of you. Are you home? Have you called them into the gate? Whatever, whatever. And they usually respond back and say, oh, I'm sorry. I see I missed a call. I'll call them now, or I'll call them in the gate or whatever. And if they don't respond, usually, within at least 5-10 minutes, then they are missed. So it's like,
Yep.
we tried. So, yeah.
We try to be efficient. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times, I don't even, like I said, we give a 3 hour window. I don't know if you guys didn't hear or missed that. We don't really. I don't work after 5. It's rare that I work even up to 5. How she does the schedule, I'm able to run 6 to 8 calls before 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is usually the latest around the time I get home. So that's why I kind of say, if you kind of want to maximize how much you do in a day, I mean that's how you're gonna make money. So everything we're talking about is kind of essential into, and this is just the minimum. Some people have software and programs and stuff like that, and we don't really use the software. I mean, Google stuff.
Right.
I get that question a lot. People ask me, what software do you use? And I'm like, Gmail.
Oh my god.
So, I don't know if that's old school, but it works for us. We haven't had a problem with it.
Word of mouth is everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, and people do still search Google, and I guess for reviews on Google, you come up or you have like one of the highest review companies, so customers call us. I've heard that a couple times. So.
Right. Especially in our area. So we don't pay for any advertisement. And that's one of the things we had on there too, like what we tried and didn't work for us. And
Oh yeah.
I honestly, she probably knows more about it than I do because she kind of orchestrated the whole thing.
With Yelp, I tried that for sure. I tried to get in on Facebook, but it was kind of complicated. It was a little complex, so I gave up. Honestly. Oh my gosh, it was just more difficult than I was ready to take on at the time. So maybe at some point I'll try to dive back into that. And I was also thinking with Facebook, since it's so popular, that might overwhelm us too at the same time.
Right.
Like, 'cause we're pretty busy now, so for how difficult it was, I really wasn't thinking it was worth it anyway. Like, it might become a headache, more than anything. But I don't know.
Right.
I guess if we ever get slow or something,
Right.
I'll try it out. But Yelp, I did try that out, and they're tricky. Yelp, that's all I'm gonna say about them is they're tricky, and I ain't have time for it. So they got X'd out real quick. I think we had them for a week and a half max. I feel like it was a week though, maybe, because I was watching what they was doing. I'm like, nah, y'all tricky. I would just leave it at that. So
Yeah, some people might have good experiences.
Yeah.
For us, it just ain't work. I mean, like,
for sure,
yeah.
That's why I'm like, I don't want to, you know, steer anyone away from Yelp. If you feel like you want to give it a shot, then give it a shot. But just for me personally, I got to see the value in it,
Right, right, definitely.
So,
And we never really had to pay for advertisement like that. So we tend to do a lot of warranty work, and then we get referrals. A lot of referrals from people who had warranty, or they don't have warranty anymore. So that's key. I mean,
yeah, we get in good with a lot of property management, and realtor type people. So they always have a lot of referrals because they deal with a lot of people. So
right. And also, it's funny that I was just thinking too, because back to what you're saying about being one of the highest rated companies around here. I remember you telling me, I don't know how long ago it was, but you had a customer call you and ask you something that they called around and said nobody worked on. And you were like, it's good that we're able to work on different things because we can help a lot of different people. I think it was an older guy, and I don't know. I can't remember the exact story, but it's just, you know, we get a lot of calls sometimes where she tells me like some people, she's called around and nobody wants to work on it or something, and then I'll take the job and I'll do it and fix it, and it's like
Yeah.
I'll come and tell her, I'm like, I don't know why nobody didn't want to work on it. It's
I think I kind of remember what you're talking about. I think it had to do more so though with they weren't they weren't able to get a quote. Nobody would tell them how much was the thing. We get those too though actually, but the most recent one was about nobody would give him a quote. In fact, he was a realtor and he was trying to see like is it something he should get fixed or whatever. So. And I was honest with him because, like I said, people like that are good referrals. Maybe not this time. It wasn't necessary for him to get our services, but he'll remember, like, that company at least, gave me the information I was looking for. So
right.
when he does need service, he will come back to us.
Right.
So.
That's what, because sometimes I'll be on the road and she'll call me and say, hey, this customer wants to know how much to do the job. A lot of times, and it's like now it's to the point where she don't even call me and ask me. I'll just see the correspondence with her and the customer, and she'll put prices up there, and usually it'll be in line with what I'm trying to do too. So it's like, I guess I'm trying to stress the fact that it's not you can't just hire somebody and expect them to look certain things overnight. Yeah, certain things like route management, maybe with a map, but like the things that or when somebody calls and says, "Oh, I think what was it?" That's why you wrote on the whiteboard what the fridge temperatures are supposed to be.
Oh, here are my little notes and so because I be asking you that question over and over, like what ranges. Because I mean, everyone owns a fridge, so you would think that we know like what settings or whatever. But ours just has a little temperature knowledge.
Right.
It doesn't really have. Yeah. It doesn't tell us exactly what temperature it is. It's just you want to know cold, colder, coldest. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, some people have specifically. I guess it tells them
the digital readout.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And they asking me. It says it's reading this number. Is that right? And I'm like. And I remember I asked you at least 2 or 3 times, and he's like, write it down. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, what we have on that whiteboard is we have a long list of customers that we will not service again.
Oh, my God, not the list. Yeah.
And sometimes I will hit her up and say, add this person to the list. We are never going back there again. And yeah, it's just I don't know if everybody else does that, but all money's not meant to be made from every customer. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and it don't have to be a dirty house.
Yeah, you can get put on list for any number.
Yeah.
But once you're on that list, you on there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about. I guess the main point of why I wanted to put this video up was the most important thing about the overall thing of the topic is like it's very important to have good customer service or somebody to answer or deal with the people when you're out there trying to work. I commend people who do it on their own because I did it on my own for a while, but I missed a lot of calls. I missed a lot of I guess people updating people in a prompt fashion and stuff like that is just it was hard. It was really hard. I don't think I'm gonna ever go back to not doing that. Like it's tough.
Yeah, you have no reason.
Definitely.
Yeah, but back to what we was just talking about. The list. So I have a question for you, Mike. So before we made the list, can you remember a time where you went back to a customer that you would have preferred not to go back to? Before we started implementing the list.
Nah. What I'll do sometimes, we'll accept the call and be like, oh nope, we didn't add this one to the list. Get it reassigned or something.
Reassigned it.
What was that COD guy? That he was a Home Depot job, and he sent us to his mom's house for a little ice maker. And I told him what the part was. I was supposed to go back
I
and
ain't gonna
install
say his
it.
name. I know you
But
talking
you know
about.
who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And he pretty much ordered the part, installed it himself, didn't call me back, didn't pay me for my service call, which he was supposed to do. Installs the part, calls me back and says, it's working, but it's quite not right. I'm like, you think you'll never see me again.
Right, 'cause now you done created a whole nother issue.
And it's like, you were planning on just completing a repair or not even. And that's another thing too. You can't always let people know what part you're getting, letting them, or if you go out there and or at least make sure that you get your diagnostic fee. Because if you would have paid, and it was a customer, I've been to his house several times, I fixed other things several times, and you never expect certain customers to be like that. But granted, it was through the warranty, so he wasn't really paying out his pocket. So when he had to pay out his pocket, it was a
It was a problem.
it was a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some people in the chat real quick. So, um, what's up, Mike and Mrs. Mike? Let me not block my face. What's up, Mike and Wifey? My wife helped me tremendously with my business. Also, it's an incredible experience to work with each other and have each other's backs. Shout out to you, PD. Chris, congratulations to the first live. Hope you guys are well. Greetings from Perkins, Oklahoma. Chris is in the chat. You know Chris.
Okay.
T Finesse in the chat. What's up?
Hey guys.
Polar. That's Mario. You know Mario. So trust me, I'm in the. You guys in the chat. She be hearing all the funny stuff. So, so she's gonna know who you are when we talk about you. But oh, shout out to Mario, because Mario is another one who actually works with his wife as well. So we were talking about that one day in the chat and saying how sometimes it's difficult. You know, some days you might want to quit.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking we need to get back on that. We moved on a little too quick from that topic because I think that's the main thing. People really, good customer service, sure, but don't kill each other either. Like how do we get through, working together, dealing with each other pretty much all day? I think is what people want to know. Like they like, that's amazing. How do you work together, live together? Eat together, sleep together. Like, basically, I feel like you guys got to have your own hobbies, so you can separate after work. He does his thing, and I do mine, and then we correspond again, a couple hours later. And, if it's anything that's really bothering you, from one end or the other, I think you should just wait till after you kind of calm down and, talk about it a little later.
Right.
That's usually a big key.
Yeah.
And not having no ego, feeling like your way is the only way, and, that type of thing. Like, just be willing to hear how you can help each other. Because at the end of the day, that's what y'all using each other for, is for help,
That's tough. The ego is a tough thing. I'll say on my part. Sometimes you just really have to. It's the way you say things as well. You have to deliver things in a way where it's like, okay, yes, we work together, and yes, she is my wife, and I can't really mix the two. So I have to think about, if this was somebody that we were working with each other, I can't just say, yo, do this thing right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, can you please take care of this issue in a timely fashion? Hey, whenever you get to it, can you please just take care of this issue? That's why even with customers, when I say, sometimes I want to be prompted. She'll get with you in a half hour. I'll call her back, schedule this customer. I'll get with him later. So I don't say no time frame. I was like, she'll get with you later today.
Because it's like, I don't understand what customer. First of all, it grinds my gears when a customer contacts you. It's like, what? Why are they doing that? Like, you're not out fixing stuff, running your route or whatever. Like, get with the person that scheduled the appointment if you need to be rescheduled, obviously. Like,
right.
Not with the technician. I don't get that. That's another thing that people do that I kind of be like weirded out by. Like, you should call the office if you got a problem with scheduling, right? Like,
they want to text me though, and a lot of times nowadays I don't even respond to them. my voicemail is set up to, because usually when I'm calling a customer to come out to their home, they have that number, so they call that number back, and I have it to where you cannot reach me at this number. Please call the business line or email, or you might check appliance.com. Is going to be the fastest ways to get, you know, a fast response. You know, so. But yeah, I mean, I think another thing too, how I kind of, I guess, have to commend her for, not say how I kind of, but what I do have to commend her for is that even though we might have a rough day, it might get to us. The next day she's up and doing what she has to do. No matter, we might not be talking, but we get work done, and that's the most important thing. It's like you can't let the egos get to you to the point where it's like you don't want to still make, you know, your livelihood. You don't want to, you know what I'm saying? This is what makes the wheels turn. This is what makes us be able to do things that we want to do in life, and that freedom is I don't know, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. So yeah, I think it's been a good video. Was there any more questions or topics? I don't want to hold people too long.
Nah, Chris is like, oh, nah, Chris. You see that? Nah.
That's funny.
She don't hear everything on the chat. Let's just say that. Just certain things. The funny stuff. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Mike? I work with my wife, too. She's been running my office for about a year now. It works well for us. So, there's hope for people. You know
And even if you by yourself, like, just utilize your voicemail. Like, say, you know, give instruction on there. Don't always put so much pressure on yourself to call them right back or anything like that. If you by yourself, like, just,
right.
you know.
I think, like we were saying, overall, it's just, the key thing, too, is to know, to keep your eye on the prize when you're working with your significant other. If you decide to do that, it's like I said, it's not for everybody. It benefits us well, because I know at the end of the day, she cares as much as I do about this business, and she wants us to win in a whole. You know what I'm saying? My check appliance. So it's I don't know. I think that's
Yeah, that's the main thing you gotta have working together as a couple is both, you know, wanting the business to win and taking pressure off of each other. Or really more so, you know, me in the office taking pressure off of you because you have to be the technician, do the paperwork, so I have to take as much pressure off as I possibly can and, you know, do stuff, you know, anything that I can do. Or it's times where I think a customer that you missed or something and you was texting his wife or something like that, and then they called you back and he was like, I'm not answering this call, you know, I'm home now, you know, they missed their appointment, now she want to call like an hour later. And so without him even asking me, I done called the customer back, or I called the husband back, and I think the wife still texted you or something because she didn't know that, you know, I guess the husband and the wife didn't speak, so she didn't know that I had spoke to the husband and went ahead and set him up.
When you think about it, I didn't even know you spoke to him.
Yeah, he didn't even know. But it sounds like when I just hear you say stuff like, oh, I ain't dealing with this, then I know, well, who the hell else is going to deal with it? So, you know, I just pick it up. Because I don't like stuff to linger, you know.
Yes, that is.
The only time I let something linger, like I said earlier, is if a customer in a roundabout way goes to him, you know, tries to call him for something that they know they should be calling the office for. And I'm like, okay, you can wait. Because you just ignorant. So I'm gonna be ignorant. So that's my way of being ignorant back. Since I can't say any, you know, I gotta be all pleasant on the phone. Even though I think.
Because I get a lot of compliments. She's very pleasant on the phone.
So yeah, you know, that's my thing. Usually, but they only wait a little bit though. Cause like I said, I like to get stuff out the way. So ain't nobody calling. I like to handle everything first thing in the morning, get it done. So I know the only people that should be calling is like a new customer that can go to the website, they'll hear the voicemail and they'll know to go to the website to schedule or to send an inquiry, or somebody returning my call, you know, so.
Right. I think, too, another thing I wanted to talk about on top of that was, I feel like a lot of people want to have have a structure like how we have it, because it's important to have a to some people to have a family type of business, and it's like we're pretty much a family business. It's like people don't realize, like, when you do start a service type of industry, how much work you can even offer your family, you know, whether it being one thing or another, or just like how we're pretty much partners in this, you know, like if she's not in, my day is messed up. And if I'm not in, obviously, she's still work. If days I'm not even working, like let's just say Monday I decide to take a day off, she's still working, and if she's still working, I gotta still do some things, like either like, you know, update customer, not say update customers as far as communicating with them, but customer information on parts, or getting with the warranty company, or whatever the case may be. And it's it's definitely, like I said, rewarding when you can just keep it all in house, you know. So I don't have to pay anybody outside, and hoping that they're gonna do a good job, making sure that they deal with the customers properly, because, you know, she's already had experience with this even prior to me owning my own business. So um, got some other stuff. Just look at the mic check, always giving great advice and appliance repair. Shout out to you, Ivan. Ivan in the chat. What's up, mic check? I guess I'll have my significant other listen to this. What background skills does your wife have in order to be able to run the office? Did she work as a dispatcher before? That's a great question, man. Great question.
Well, not quite as a dispatcher, but I worked in a call center.
Well, you worked in a appliance repair company before. You might not want to talk about it, but
Oh, yeah, but it was just, it's like someone you mentioned to me that he's the only one that works for his company. It was like that situation, you know, you were the only employee, so it was kind of like, it was like I was working for you, but I had to deal with a third party.
Yeah.
It was annoying. So I was so glad when we X'd that third party out, because it was like, oh my God, the biggest headache in the world, because he just operated completely different from me, you know, so, but wanted me to run things. And it's like, you know, okay, you want me to handle it, but your way, why don't you just do it if you micromanaging me? And you know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever. But
oh, my bad. I go ahead. You can answer the
But
question.
no, I just, you know, I had common sense, and I did a lot of customer service work. I don't think it's rocket science to do, you know, what I do, but you know, it's just about wanting to help and make the business succeed, and you know, wanting to be efficient, and you know, following his lead and just making things easier for him. So
Because I think things just you just learn over time. Like, I was proud of her the first time that she got with a customer and ordered parts. I didn't look at the parts. She looked at the parts,
yeah, you know.
and she got most of them right. I mean, she got some little retainer clips that I didn't
The
need.
customer told me she needed them, so I got them. You know, hey.
But she
So
ordered the other parts without. She looked them up herself. I didn't look them up, you know, and ordered them, and so it's just it takes certain steps. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, again, because you were busy and occupied with other things. And this lady, you know, once they have my cell phone number and they can text me, well, one of them, luckily I had two phones, but, you know, they know I see the text. That's the other thing. You know what I'm saying? So you got to respond to it anyway. So I'm
Right.
like, I can't keep ignoring this lady. Like, I've been just BSing her. I'm like, all right, let me figure it out. So
Right.
I'll put in her model number,
I ain't gonna lie. I'll get
looked
home
at
and she'll
everything.
ask me, "Hey, did you get with this customer? Get on this information." Maybe the next day. Still didn't do it. Get
And
with this customer. Get on it.
I done became a professional liar. It's like, oh my God. Without even trying. It's like you look up and you like, man, I done got good at this.
Yeah. You know, we was in the chat. You know, shout out to everybody in the Voxer chat. We was talking about, and I'm gonna word it a little differently, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You gotta be a good BSer. I can't word it anyway. You gotta know how to BS, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know In a good way, though. You know, you got to know when to tell a customer, I need to order a part. Even if you might not know what the issue is, but just to come back and regroup, you might have to, say a part is on back order. If you're kind of busy and need to schedule them a little further out. Um,
Yeah.
it just
Oh man.
That's just how it is sometimes. And usually I do that for issues that aren't that serious. The ones that are serious, I try to get the part in quick and get it done quick. Ones like we had a guy, all he had was two little notches on his LED lights were out for his time, and he was tripping on, when are
Oh
you coming
yeah.
back? I'm like, we'll get back to you. I mean, there's other people who actually have real problems. Now
Yeah.
this was under warranty, so they covered the part, so he
Yeah.
wasn't even really paying for nothing. But
It's
it's
the oven worked fine. He just couldn't tell the time.
Yeah,
And
and
it
he
was
has
an emergency for him. Like, oh my gosh.
and he has a microwave right above it that showed the time just fine. So
People are funny, man.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We deal with all different types of customers. I mean, we have some great customers. I mean, a lot of customers that I've even brought home gifts to give to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they like how her customer service was on the phone. That's one thing. You kind of have to, I call it like a 1-2 combo, because like they get her on the phone or get the customer side. I come, I do what I have to do, and they get that side, and it's like it's an all around company. That's just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I seen this
So,
question here.
all around good experience.
I thought this was a great question when I saw. It's like, did your wife always believe in your business? Shout out to you, Sagaponics.
Yeah. Did I always believe in the business? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I believe he knew how to fix things, and I believe people should come break. So it's like, yeah.
She
I,
always told me I should have did it. Should have been did
yeah.
it.
And like I said, it was just a third party that we were dealing with before. And in my mind, I was always like, why ain't it just me and you? I'm like, what does he really do that we can't,
He's talking about my old boss, man.
what does he do that we're not capable of handling between the two of us? So
Yeah, I was running the call. She was doing what she's doing now, and he was the boss. That's just so.
I had been ready to take off running. I'm like, whenever you say the word, shoot, whenever, like I know you can do it. I mean, like I said, if you're able to, if you're confident in yourself and you know what you're doing, you have the skills. I mean, it's nothing to start a business but some paperwork. So, and you have the know-how to go out and perform the service. So, why not do the paperwork? So, of course, I was always 100%, 1,000% down with him to start his own business.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with that. I will say she was, when I started a business and I was doing what I was doing, it was just like, when I was telling her I was ready to leave, she was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like no hesitation.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, because she knew once I wasn't gonna leave if I didn't have everything in order, like security, secure for us, or I knew we wasn't gonna do it. And it's like, even now, she'll tell you, because we're getting ready to go on another little vacation. It's here pretty soon, and it's like, it took me a while to even, to this day, to not come back. Even though business is great, it's always be great, but I'll come back from vacation and be like, man, I gotta get back to work. It's I gotta get my money back up. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it might not be. And usually when I go on a trip, everything's usually paid for in advance. But still, my mindset is like, I took this much work off. I need to work that much. It's like I missed all this. So that mindset has to kind of change as well.
Hmm.
Um,
And see, maybe I would be worried if you didn't have that hustle, if you didn't have that mindset to win. If it just was an idea and it sounded good, but you weren't really putting the initiative into making it happen, and you know what I'm saying, like if you weren't confident in yourself to fix things, or then maybe, but you don't have the spirit, of like a follower, or what I mean, or you know you want to be a leader. So
yeah, exactly.
so
Um, Yeah, so that's like I said. I guess even if your significant other or whatever is not in your business, I believe that's a valid point to believe in your person that they're gonna do what they have to do, especially if they have the skill. Like with that said, her believing in me pushed me even more to try to be better or greater at what I do. So that's important.
Hmm. And that's what I feel like your significant other should do is like motivate you, even if you feel like in the beginning like unsure. Like that's my job to
Right.
like motivate you and remind you like you
Like
can do
for
it.
instance, I woke so this is Saturday. I woke up. I didn't want to work. I really didn't want to go to work today. And I remember one thing she said to me is like, "You need to go to that job or else." And I'm like, I didn't want to ask what her else was. I'm like, okay, I'm going. So it's just sometimes I'll do that, and that's how you get a little spoiled because if there's times before I'm like, I don't want to work today. Okay, I'll reschedule. I'll do something, but then I know I'm like, I'm off the hook. But if I know when she says, nah, you gotta go, then you gotta go.
Only because this particular customer can only do Saturdays, is
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
said. You know, if it's a Monday or any weekday or whatever, then of course I can, like I said, I became a professional liar. So I can call them and say whatever comes to mind that sounds good at the time and get them for the next day,
And
you
that's what
know.
Chris was saying. He's like, yeah, you could say that you need to be able to sweet talk your way out of a paper bag. So
Yeah,
pretty much is
yeah.
like you got to know um, how to control the situation with a customer. Because at the end of the day, it's just like what I was taught to be a technician. I don't go into a house having a customer tell me what I need to do to fix the appliance. I listen to tell me what the problem is, but I'm the one that's a technician. I have to tell them how I need to go about fixing the appliance or what needs to be done to fix it. You know, so that's my job. You know, so uh, yeah, it's definitely tough because I get a lot of questions about the technical side, but then I get a lot of these questions about the business side or the customer relation side of it, and that's why I wanted to make sure we covered everything um, in this video because I think like I said, I don't remember the last video, but I know when I watched it, there was some things that we didn't touch on.
It is probably gonna be some things we still ain't touched on. We're gonna have to make
Right.
another, but you guys don't have to wait so long. I don't mind doing them. So
Yeah, because we did have a request, and shout out to you, Gina. If you ever get it, whenever you watch it, hopefully you got an idea of because like I said, she worked with her wife too. So at the end of the day, um, they're fairly new. So it's gonna be tough. I'll tell you that much. It's definitely gonna be tough. You got ups and downs. You have to be receptive to listening. Because when she was doing this stuff with the online scheduling, I kid you not, it was in one ear and out the other. Because I was just so busy thinking about other things, and she had to sit me down. Come look at this. Look what's going on. And I'm like, wow, you did all this, and I wasn't even paying attention. And my whole, those are the things that really count when you have somebody, or even if you're hiring somebody they have to be an asset to your business. They have to build you up, because without that, you're not going to really grow. So
right.
um,
Have you ever done a video on what to expect when you're starting a new business?
have I? I don't know. I might have,
What
but
you what you should expect? Maybe we can make a video, another video, like touching base on that, like you know.
right, right. Because I think um, because I do have a lot of comments where people ask me, especially under the video that we did. Now that I remember, um, so I should actually went into there and got the questions from that video and then have them ready for it. I didn't even think about it till now, but
All right, so we'll have a follow up
yeah, we'll
soon.
definitely do. So this is the first live. I don't even know how long we've been on the live right now. Um, can't really tell me, but uh, yeah, you wanna wrap it up?
Yeah, they don't have any more
Yeah,
questions. I
and
guess we answered them all. I don't want to hold people too long, like I said earlier. I'd rather have more videos, keep them short and sweet for you guys.
right. So, but I will say this though. Um, if you do have significant other, girlfriend, wife, whatever, working for you in your business and any service, but appliance repair, make sure you take the time to, or dedicate time to uh, take vacations and do certain things, because mind you, like she said, from when we wake up we're dealing with each other, so when we go to sleep and we're dealing with each other. So yes, we might like do our own things because you got to stay sane, but you want to try to see things from a different perspective sometimes. Like, all right, this is work view, now we need to go on vacation view. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we just have to do that. Like, and sometimes it never comes fast enough. Like, it's just something that you got to do. So take the time to really unwind, and so you don't burn yourself out. You know, and make sure you pay that person highly. I make sure that you're well taken care of, and she ain't got nothing to worry about because she makes sure my check runs efficiently. So, yeah. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Anything else you want to say, honey?
Now we'll catch you in the next video.
All right, guys.